This is my Ion record player that I bought many years ago. It's a pretty cool little unit. It's got, USB. You can power it off D cells if you want. It's got a speaker built into it. The issue is that records just sound kind of abby-normal on it. And it's no good if your record doesn't sound the way it's supposed to sound. Like, you don't want it to sound funky. It's got to sound right. So I decided to crack it open and see what was going on. It was really easy to take apart with a Phillips screwdriver and just a couple wires to unplug. First thing I did was look at the boards and see if there's anything obviously wrong with it. Usually the telltale sign is that it looks like someone blew their nose all over it, and bingo. I find it interesting how often stuff can be fixed just by replacing a popped capacitor. These are the culprit in most of my broken things, and so if you can find a cheap place to buy capacitors, you can usually fix your stuff for next to nothing. So for example, this capacitor cost me $1.50. Here I'm just desoldering the old capacitor with some desoldering braid and pulling it out. You can see it's actually stuck to the board with the plague, which made it a little bit tricky to get off, but there it is, delicious. And thankfully you can just read the specs right off the side, and remember the strip is where the negative terminal goes. Unfortunately there's still a bit of capacitor plague all over the board, so you gotta take that off. I tried taking it off with a toothbrush and IPA, but this stuff was like rubber. So what I did was I took it off with an X-Acto knife and a little bit of patience. And now I'm putting the new one on. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Just make sure to keep track of which side the negative terminal is on and which side the positive is on before you take it off the board. Or if you're lucky like me, sometimes the board will actually show you which side is the positive. There will be a little plus on it. And then one thing to look out for is if you have boards that are sort of sandwiched together inside your record player, the capacitor plague can actually splatter and hit other boards. So take a look at the other ones. I had some capacitor plague on that board, so I had to clean that one off as well. But didn't take too long, and she's good as new, other than the totally yellowed plastic. Now that it's all reassembled with the replaced capacitor, we're just going to make sure that it's reassembled correctly. So we got power, and it didn't explode, which is, generally a good sign. Which just leaves us with one final task, which is to select the record to test this with. And for my money, if you've never listened to the complete Amazing Spider-Man vs. the Man-Wolf, originally presented in Amazing Spider-Man 124, you're really missing out.
The Amazing Spider-Man has many friends, but Jonah Jameson, publisher of the powerful Daily Bugle, isn't one of them.
What is this, Robertson? Be kind to criminals day?
So, it works now, hooray, but I think we could do better. So check out my channel for part 2 of this video, so I'll show you how I gave this thing Bluetooth, using a Bluetooth board that cost even less than the capacitor I just replaced.
And I believe that wall-crawling menace is responsible.